Hair and nails. Your body is covered in hair, which helps to keep you warm. When it is very cold, your hair stands on end, which traps an insulating layer of warm air around the body. Nails protect the tips of your fingers and toes and make them stronger. They are also useful for scratching and picking up tiny objects. Hair and nails grow quite slowly. Your hair grows about 0.5 mm a day, or about 18 centimeter a year. A hair on your head can grow for about 6 years before it falls out. Beards are the fastest growing hairs on the human body. Nails grow at about 0.5 mm a week. Toenails grow more slowly than fingernails, and it takes about 6 months for a nail to grow from the base to the tip. A pigment called melanin found in hair and skin is what gives people their hair and skin color. The darker your hair color, the more melanin you have. People with very blonde hair have very little melanin in their hair. Those with red and brown hair have a bit more, while those with black hair have a lot of melanin. As people get older, their hair starts to lose some of the melanin and becomes grey. You have hair everywhere on your body except on your lips, the palms of your hands, and the soles of your feet. Some hair on your body is very fine and may be difficult to see. You have about 5 million hairs all over your body, and about 100,000 of these are on your head. Every day you lose 50 to 100 hairs, but you don't notice most of them because you have so many hairs and new hairs are constantly growing. Your hair grows out of millions of tiny holes in your skin called follicles. Your hair is curly, straight or wavy depending on the shape of your hair follicles. Straight hairs grow from round follicles. Wavy hair grows from kidney-shaped follicles, and curly hair grows from oval follicles. Hair and nails are made from a substance called keratin, which is also found in the outer layer of your skin. Your hair and nails don't have any nerves, so not only do they not feel any pain, but they don't feel anything at all. Muscular system. The human body has about 640 muscles. They account for about 2/5 of our body weight, use some 20% of our energy, and most importantly, control the way we move. Lying in bands just beneath the surface of the skin, muscles work together all the time. Whether we are playing games, reading, walking, or writing, some muscles are always working. The more a muscle works, the stronger it becomes. This is why people who regularly work out at the gym have a far more defined muscle tone than people who do not exercise. There are 3 types of muscles in your body. Skeletal muscles are used to move all parts of your body. Visceral muscle is found in your internal organs such as your stomach, lungs, and intestines, as well as in your large blood vessels. It is also called involuntary muscle, as you can't control its movements. The walls of your heart are made of a specialized muscle called cardiac muscle, which keeps contracting for all of your life. Most of the muscles in your body are called skeletal muscles, and these are the muscles that you use to move. There are 640 skeletal muscles that help you do everything from walking to blinking your eyes. Cardiac muscle is only found in the heart. It would be impossible to count visceral muscles because they are shaped in layers, sheets, bags, and tubes, and are found inside your organs. All muscles are made up of fibers. Skeletal muscles are attached to bones and can only contract or get shorter because they can only pull and not push. Muscles usually work in pairs. One muscle moves a bone in one direction and its partner pulls it back again. When you want to move, your brain sends messages to the correct muscles telling them to contract. This makes your muscles shorter and pulls the bones with them, causing you to move. You might think that the strongest muscle in your body is in your bottom or your legs, but in fact it is the masseter muscle, which is found on either side of your jaw, that is the most powerful in your body. They move your jaw and are used for biting and chewing food. The biggest muscle in your body is the gluteus maximus in your bottom. You use this muscle to run, jump, and walk upstairs. It is also a very useful cushion for sitting on. The smallest muscle is the stapedius, which is attached to the tiny stirrup bone in your inner ear. When you do a lot of exercise, your muscles need a lot more energy to work properly. This energy produces lactic acid, which your body cannot dispose of quickly enough. This acid damages the muscle fibers, leading to an aching feeling. Luckily, the damage is not permanent and the muscle soon recovers. However, too much lactic acid will eventually stop your muscles working, which is one of the reasons that exhausted marathon runners can collapse. Muscles in your eyelids can make you blink up to 5 times a second. Types of muscles. Skeletal muscles. They hold the bones together and give the body its shape. Smooth muscles. They help different organs and tissues to perform different tasks. Cardiac muscles. They contract and relax to make the heart work. The longest muscle of a body is the sartorius muscle. It starts from the hip and extends to the knee. One of the strongest muscles is the jaw muscle. Other strong muscles, gluteus maximus, located in the buttocks, and the tongue muscles. The longest and the strongest tendon is the Achilles tendon in the heel. How muscles work? Muscles often work in pairs. For example, one muscle, the biceps, bends your arms and another, the triceps, straightens it. When we smile, we use 17 facial muscles, and while frowning, we use 43 muscles. Muscles are attached to the bones by tendons. Working together, muscles, bones, and joints act as levers, giving us a wide range of movements. Hands can make more movements than any other part of our body. Do you know? Over 30 muscles hold together the 27 bones of our hand, allowing us to pick up something as delicate as an egg without breaking it. Hold your right arm out in front of you with your palm up. Now, with your left hand, gently squeeze your upper right arm. Do you feel a muscle? No. Now, with your left hand still on your upper right arm, make a fist with your right hand and bend your right arm. Did you feel the muscle? This muscle is called the bicep. Nervous system, nerve cells. The nervous system is the body's information gatherer, storage center, and control system. Its overall functions are to collect information about the body's external or internal states and transfer this information to the brain. To analyze this information and to send impulses out to initiate appropriate motor responses to meet the body's needs. Neuroscience is the study of the nervous system. Nervous systems are found in most multicellular animals, but vary greatly in complexity. Human body contains 100 billion nerve cells. The system is composed of specialized cells, termed nerve cells or neurons, that communicate with each other and with other cells in the body. A neuron has 3 parts. The cell body containing the nucleus, dendrites, hair-like structures surrounding the cell body which conduct incoming signals. The axon or nerve fiber, varying in length from a millimeter to a meter, which conduct outgoing signals emitted by the neuron. Axons are encased in a fat-like sheath called myelin, which acts like an insulator and, along with nodes of RAN wire, speeds impulse transmission. Typically, a given neuron is connected to many thousands of neurons. The specific point of contact between the axon of one cell and a dendrite of another is called a synapse. Messages passed to and from the brain take the form of electrical impulses or action potentials produced by a chemical change that progresses along the axon. At the synapse, the impulse causes the release of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine or dopamine, and this in turn drives the impulse to the next neuron. These impulses travel very fast along this chain of neurons up to the 250 miles per hour. This contrasts with other systems such as the endocrine system, which may take many hours to respond with hormones. The nerve cell bodies are generally located in groups within the brain and spinal cord. The collections of neurons are called nuclei and constitute the grey matter, so called because of their color. Outside the brain and spinal cord, the groups are called ganglia. The remaining areas of the nervous system are tracts of axons, the white matter, so called because of white myelin sheath. Tracts carrying information of a specific type, such as pain or vision, generally have specific names. Somatosensory receptors. Input to the nervous system is in the form of our 5 senses: touch, pain, vision, taste, smell, and hearing. Pain, temperature, and pressure are known as somatic senses. Sensory receptors are classified according to the type of energy they can detect and respond to. Mechanoreceptors, hearing and balance, stretching. Photoreceptors, light. Chemoreceptors, smell and taste mainly, as well as internal sensors in the digestive and circulatory systems. Thermoreceptors, changes in temperature. Electroreceptors, detect electrical currents in the surrounding environment. Glial cells. Glial cells are non-neuronal cells that provide support and nutrition, maintain homeostasis, form myelin, and participate in signal transmission in the nervous system. In the human brain, it is estimated that the total number of glia roughly equals the number of neurons, although the proportions vary in different brain areas. Among the most important functions of glial cells are to support neurons and hold them in place, to supply nutrients to neurons, to insulate neurons electrically, to destroy pathogens and remove dead neurons, and to provide guidance, cues directing the actions of neurons to their targets. A very important type of glial cell generates layers of fatty substance called myelin that wraps around axons and provides electrical insulation, which allows them to transmit action potentials much more rapidly and efficiently. Nutrition. Nutrition is the study of food at work in our body. Nutrition is the science that deals with all the various factors of which food is composed and the way in which proper nourishment is brought about. To live, one must eat. But we not only eat to live. What we eat also affects our ability to keep healthy, do work, to be happy, and to live well. Knowledge of what to eat and in what quantities is a prerequisite to the healthy and happy life. The average nutritional requirements of groups of people are fixed and depend on such measurable characteristics such as age, sex, height, weight, and degree of activity and rate of growth. Food is anything solid or liquid that has a chemical composition which enables it, when swallowed, to do one or more of the following. Provide the body with the material from which it can produce heat or any form of energy. Provide material to allow growth, maintenance, repair, or reproduction to proceed. Supply substances which normally regulate the production of energy or the process of growth, repair of reproduction. Good nutrition requires a satisfactory diet which is capable of supporting the individual consuming it in a state of good health by providing the desired nutrients in required amounts. It must provide the right amount of fuel to execute normal physical activity. If the total amount of nutrients provided in the diet is insufficient, a state of undernutrition will develop. In addition, a poor diet coupled with a sedentary lifestyle are known to be risk factors for life-threatening chronic diseases and death, heart diseases, stroke, hypertension, diabetes, and some forms of cancer. Food habits. Issues with food, weight, and body images are not easy to talk about. Most people are looking for ready-to-eat, a magic pill, or the latest popular diet. But the reality is that there are no magic secrets or quick tips when it comes to managing your eating habits and maintaining a healthy weight. Healthy eating is really a very simple concept. An adequate diet should provide the necessary calories to supply the required energy, proteins, and minerals for building and repair of body cells, vitamins and minerals to supply the protective materials. The body derives its energy mainly from fats and carbohydrates such as butter, oil, ghee, cereals, pulses, sugar, cheese. Its body-building materials from milk, eggs, meat, fish, and cheese supplemented by cereals, pulses, and nuts, and its protective materials from the minerals and vitamins of milk, cream, butter, egg, cheese, fruits, vegetables, particularly green raw vegetables. It is pointed out that it is unnecessary for the housewife to calculate the number of calories, the amount of protein, this particular vitamin or that particular mineral she was supplying in the daily diet of a family. We suggest that a diet made of the following foods would provide all the necessary nutrients. Milk, at least half liter daily and more for children. Cheese and pulses, at least once per day. Fish or eggs, once in 2 to 3 days for non-vegetarians. This can be supplemented by dry fruits for vegetarians. Fruit at least once daily, preferably in breakfast. Vegetable, 2 kinds daily and including 1 green vegetable. Salad should also be taken with each meal. Fat, butter or ghee or oil. Cereals, wheat flour is the most valuable. Water, about 2 liters daily, half in the form of water and remaining can be in the form of milk, tea, coffee or juice. Then eat any other foods you like in order to satisfy your appetite. The more varied in the diet, the less likely it is to be deficient in any one nutrient. Importance of fruits in diet. Fruits are one of the oldest forms of food known to man. Fresh and dry fruits are the natural staple food of man. They contain substantial quantities of essential nutrients in a rational proportion. They are excellent sources of minerals, vitamins, and enzymes. They are easily digested and exercise a cleansing effect on the blood and the digestive tract. Persons subsisting on this natural diet will always enjoy good health. Moreover, the ailments caused by the intake of unnatural food can be successfully treated by fruits. Fresh and dry fruits are thus not only a good food but also a good medicine. Fruits are at their best when eaten in the raw and ripe state. In cooking, they lose portion of the nutrients, salt and carbohydrates. They are most beneficial when taken as a separate meal by themselves, preferably for breakfast in the morning. A combination of fruits with meal is not considered good. If it becomes necessary to take fruits with regular food, they should form a large portion of the meals. Fruits, however, make better combination with milk than with meals. It is also desirable to take one kind of fruit at a time. Respiratory system. Lungs. We need to breathe air because it contains oxygen. Each cell in our body needs oxygen to release the energy from the food we eat. This energy keeps our cells alive. Oxygen is taken from the air by our respiratory system. This consists of our nose, throat, windpipe, and lungs. Lungs are the primary organs through which oxygen is passed into the bloodstream and is carried to all the body parts. The lungs are one of the body's major organs. They are responsible for supplying oxygen to the blood and for removing unwanted carbon dioxide. Protected by the rib cage, they take up most of the space inside the chest and are separated from the abdomen by a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm. They are made of elastic tissue and can expand and contract. Filled with tiny airways, ending in air sacs. They are light and spongy. These sacs provide a vast surface area, which means that the blood passing over them can absorb the maximum amount of oxygen in the shortest possible time. Airways. The airways of the respiratory system start at the nostrils. These holes are connected to passages that join up in the throat. The air then passes to the larynx and down through the trachea. The windpipe divides at the bottom into two bronchial tubes which branch off into the lungs. Bronchial tree. The network of airways inside the lungs is often called the bronchial tree. The two main airways branch off to the left and right, dividing into smaller and smaller branches. The smallest of these branches are called bronchioles. Air sacs. Bronchioles end in clusters of alveoli that are just one cell thick. The alveoli are covered by tiny capillaries through which the blood cells pick up oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Human lungs contain almost 1,500 miles of airways and are over 300 million alveoli. The human body needs a constant supply of oxygen to survive. When we breathe in air, we get 21% oxygen as air is carried to the lungs through the air passages. There, the oxygen is transferred to the blood. Blood rich in oxygen is then pumped by the heart to the rest of the body. When we breathe out, we expel carbon dioxide, which would be harmful to us if it remained in the body. Exhaled air contains 100 times more carbon dioxide and half as much oxygen as inhaled air. Every time we breathe, we move air in and out of our lungs. But our lungs cannot move on their own. Breathing depends on our ribs and diaphragm as they make our lungs suck in and squeeze out air through our nose and mouth. When we are resting, we normally breathe in and out through our nose. The space inside is warm, moist, and covered with sticky mucus. Air comes in. Harmful germs are trapped by the mucus. The air goes down the throat and the windpipe. Here too, a flap of skin is positioned to prevent food from passing into the windpipe when we swallow. Breathing in. To breathe in, the muscles between our ribs pull the ribs up and out, and our diaphragm pushes down. This makes more space in our chest and air is sucked into our lungs. Breathing out. When we breathe out, our rib muscles move down and our diaphragm moves up. The space in our chest reduces and air is squeezed out from lungs. Plants are our partners in breathing. We breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, and plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen for us to breathe it in.